morning, Jordan. Second time round for us, mate, on this topic of must do versus want to motivation for athletes. Big topic, mate. Just for the interested viewers out there, what the hell happened the first time? Why are we doing this twice?
I think it was Zoom being maybe a little bit too popular, and some of the I guess some of the software didn't agree with us, so we need to do it again.
Anyway, that's how damn dedicated we are, mate. We're doing it twice. All right, so look, athletes out there, must do versus want to. So the topic is, you've got to do stuff, but you don't feel like doing it. How do you turn that into something that you want to do? That's a very good skill to have, and that's what we're going to explore today for, say, 5 to 10 minutes. So Kick us off, Jordan. Must do versus want to motivation.
Yeah.
Get us started.
Well, I think when we're going to start looking at this topic, the first thing we need to talk about is the language that we're using. And so we need to be really aware that the words are really powerful. And just by saying like, I have to go to training tonight, or I have to get up tomorrow at 5 a.m. to go and do sprints, or that, just using that word can sort of start to create some feelings and emotions inside of us that might not be very helpful. And so it's just to start with, before we start working on, making this mindset better, just being aware of how we talk about our sport and the obligations that we have is a big starting point. So yeah, just being aware of the language. Okay.
So key words are things like have to, I've got to do this, grind. I've got to grind away at training today.
Yeah.
So we'll come to some tips and kind of tactics later, but maybe something in that, it's like writing down some of the things that are probably not that helpful, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Another topic on us is turning the energy around. Like when you're in a must state of mind, think about it this way. When someone's told you have to do something, right? How do you normally feel about it? For most people, they feel instantly repelled to the idea. Like, don't tell me what to do. And even if it's something that they like doing, they might not do it because they have to do it. We've all got examples of that. So the energy that comes along with wanting to do something is completely different.
Yeah.
Right? You can do something for hours if you want to do it. If you have to do something, you may be lucky to last minute. So obviously, in terms of skill development with your sport, what's going to help? Something that you want to do or something that you have to do? It's a no-brainer about if you're going to end up any good at something.
Yeah, for sure. It just that starting point of your mindset, it just completely puts you in a different place. If you have to do something, where like I'd like to, or I get to, or I'm lucky I get to practice this afternoon after school, or it's just a totally different place to start from.
Yep. So I've been talking with a couple of parents this week with some athletes, and some of them have said comments which I kind of listened to quite carefully, and they've said things like, I'm just quite fortunate and lucky to have a job right now, and I feel grateful that I get to go off to do that. That's a real language, like what you were saying of, I want to do this. I don't have to go to work at the moment. It's a privilege for me to go to work.
Yeah. Adds a little bit of gratitude to the situation that you're in, and yeah, just makes you, and also probably will add a lot more enjoyment into the process of practicing and playing your sport. When it's something that, I want to be doing this, I'm lucky to be doing this, it's a privilege, that's just going to feed into, a better sense of fun and enjoyment as well. You're going to be in a better place for that.
Yeah, fun and enjoyment leads ways to lots of things. So look, let's knuckle down on the topic pretty closely here. So how does someone take something that they must do, they think they must do in their mind, and turn it into something that they want to do? Let's answer that question. So we've got some language. What else can people do?
I think another thing that we need to think about when we're linking must and that language stuff is also think about the expectations that it's putting on us. And so if I'm like, I have to do this training session, or I have to do this prep, then we're also leaving ourselves potentially to some negative emotions if we don't live up to that expectation. So, we might become disappointed with ourselves or annoyed or angry or a bit resentful. So just also being aware that not only do these words like must and have to put us in the not the best mindset to start with, they also heap a bunch of expectations on top of our back. So just being aware of that as well.
The expectations, huh? So someone, so okay, let's say a practical example. So someone's got, let's say they're a tennis player, yeah, and they've got training that afternoon, and they're not looking forward to going. So on the expectation side of things, they're probably starting to expect things like, oh, I'm going to have to put in a lot of effort today just to, keep the coaches happy and keep myself happy and stuff like that. And that weight of that mental kind of pressure of the expectations just builds and will probably make them start thinking about it more, dreading it more.
Yeah.
So how do they alleviate those expectations then to make the session look lighter in their mind?
Well, it's a reality that every sport, training for it, preparing for it, being elite, it's going to have some aspects that you might not like, like, I don't know, doing certain types of drills in tennis or swimming heaps of laps for swimming or whatever it might be. So I think if you're aware that everybody does it, the best in the world still have to do these drills, the best in the world have to get up super early when it's cold and you don't want to get out of bed. So just being aware that it's a reality, it's not something that we can change. And so if you can sort of think about yourself saying, I'm going to be an athlete that embraces these things that are a core part of my sport that I have to do, everyone has to do them, as opposed to being like, oh, I don't feel like doing that. You're going to be in a much more advantageous place than these other athletes that have this sort of negative mindset because it's unavoidable. It's like, it's part of the sport. You have to do these drills and these sometimes not so fun activities. So maybe look at yourself as an athlete that approaches them with a bit more of a healthy mindset. You're like, I know this is the way it is, and I'm just going to suck it up. I've got to do it.
What about this one? This is an interesting one with must versus want to do stuff. I reckon what happens is a lot of the time, the build-up of the thinking process before the event is actually worse than what the actual event is. You get so much worry and dread in your system about some things that you're not looking forward to doing. And then half the time or more, when you actually do it, you're like, actually, this is all right. Sometimes you're like, actually, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then you look back at yourself and you go, what was I worried about for the last week?
Yeah.
So
you got a roller coaster. Like you're so scared before, but then when you actually do it, you're like, oh, that was actually that scary.
So if people can realize that process kind of takes place and then observe their mind and go, oh, that's it. I'm starting to worry about that event that's coming up. That's interesting that I'm doing that pattern again. Let's interrupt that pattern. And let's interrupt it with, I don't know, you could like a new belief. You could have a new belief get inserted there, which is, hey, like what you're saying before, I'm going to have some good language around this and I'm going to find something that is training. Like the belief might be a statement like this. Training is tough for everyone who's elite. Even the best of the best have tough days. I'm going to go and tackle this tough day,
We all have to do it. Who do you think is going to be better off? The ones that regret it, I have to go do this, or the ones that are like, this is part of it. I'm grateful that I get to do it. This is a privilege to be able to practice my sport. And, I want to go and do this because I know it's going to help.
Look, it's funny at the moment as well. Where, like, there's this statement in the psychology realm, which is everything's perspective. Everything's how you look at it, right? And I'm laughing to myself sometimes because of how true that is right now. Like, I've got some younger athletes that are saying things like, oh, I just can't wait to get back to school. Hey, like, I just got to get out of the house. And then other ones who haven't been able to do their sport, like, oh, I just can't go wait. I can't wait to go to training today. Hey.
Yeah.
So they're saying
you can't have it. And now you can't have it. And it's
So they want to do it now, whereas say 2 months ago they're like, oh, it just feels like such a grind, such a chore.
Yeah. It's amazing if you aren't observing these things, your mind will just kind of warp it in certain weird little ways, and then you feed a belief long enough, and it starts to become really ingrained and really hard to get around. So if we can kind of catch these beliefs before they get too powerful, you're also going to, because we want to be an athlete, we want to have long careers with a lot of success, and we want to have a lot of enjoyment. We can start to grab these beliefs before they get too powerful.
Yeah, and make the ones that we want to make powerful. Stick those in there and give those fuel. What else we got here? So questions. What's that?
Some tips?
Yeah, let's kind of wrap this up. Let's not turn this into a 4-hour session. So tips. All right, first one, your language one is pretty damn solid. And I think people have to become aware of what language they're using, because like most habits, you're just basically unaware of what you do. So writing down, get a list.
Yeah. So think about it like you're doing an audit, like you're going through, like maybe a business might be going through all the money and then things in a bank, but you're thinking about it with your language. So take a notebook and write down what sort of words, like we're talking about, must, have to, grind, all these sort of words that end up putting us in that must mindset. Write them down, and then you're in a better place to sort of catch yourself when you start using them, or people around you start using them. You're like, all right, how can I change that to I get to go to practice, or I'd like to, or I'm lucky I get to. There's more of these want to type words that we want to start using instead.
Yeah, and for people like me who are very visually memory based, just write down on a page your words on one side that you're not happy with, the words on the other side that you want to turn it into, and that will help you remember it. Like, not everyone is that way, but if I see something, I will remember it a ton better, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So what about this one as a little tip tactic to work on this stuff? How about every time you turn something into a want to that was a must, you set up some little imaginary game in your head. And for people that love playing games, this will work quite well. Even for others, if they want to do it on their phone as a little record, that might be even better, where you keep tabs on like how many you're doing, you know. So maybe you've got a goal of turn 3 things a day that you don't want to do into what you want to do, right? And you nominate, say, all right, $10 in my imaginary bank account here. And you just, what it does is it creates a little scoreboard for yourself. And I don't know any athlete that doesn't like kind of love improving with their score in some way, shape or form. You know, there's always a scoreboard in sports, basically.
Putting deposits in your bank account. I think everyone likes doing that.
Yeah. So you just see your growth of this stuff instead of going, I don't know if I'm any better at turning things that, you know, I have to do into what I want to do. It sounds a bit fuzzy, but I don't know if I'm getting anywhere. That's a way where you can actually see you're getting somewhere.
So you're catching, observing, then changing, and, you know, and then implementing that. So it's like a few steps before you get like your little bank account deposit. And yeah, the more you do it, the better you'll get. Now,
I can't help but think that the reality is most people won't do what we just said. And the reason being is you won't do it is because it's effort. But you got to, look, one of the beliefs you got to have about working on your mind is it's like anything else in life. If you want to go and get better at 5K running, you got to go and run. Okay? You got to put in effort. So you got to do the work for this if you want that skill to improve. And that's going to require mental energy.
And also there's that consistency. Like, I have one workout, I'm not going to make it to the Olympics. I need to have effort consistently over a long period of time. That's when you start seeing the results. So it's that mindset that I'm willing to do effort, and I'm willing to do it consistently.
Repeatedly. Yeah, not a one-off.
No.
Got to get away from the one-off didn't work.
Yeah. So like maybe I might need to revisit my little vocabulary audit, maybe once a week or once every few weeks, to see if maybe how I'm using these new words and how am I avoiding the ones that I shouldn't be using, and just keep that consistent as well.
Yeah, the value of repetition. Like a tennis player is going to do drills every week on possibly their forehand or, you know, their serve or something, but then they look at the mental stuff sometimes and go, oh yeah, I did that, you know. But you don't say that about doing forehands 3 times a week, you know.
I'm not going to be fit forever because I went to the gym yesterday.
So it's that same mentality. All right, just wrapping up with this stuff, any last words for people on really getting some traction, as they call it, in terms of turning have to do stuff into, oh, damn, I want to do that. That's going to be so much fun.
I think if we stick to what we've talked about today, and then we'll put a little asterisk on this saying that you must do this stuff if you want to be able to have the most success in sport, because ultimately what this YouTube channel is about is helping athletes be successful.
Yeah.
So
I like it. So they must turn must thinking into wanting thinking. How about that for play on words?
That's the overall message today. Because what we're thinking about long term is improving success, improving performance. So it's a must.
Right. Well, thanks everyone. That's enough for now. Look, in terms of doing likes and subscribes and all that stuff, I really don't like saying it. So please just do all that stuff, take care of it, and then I never have to say it again in session after session after session. We'd like around about 1 million subscribers within about the next 3 weeks. So just get busy. Okay?
Yeah, spread the message. That's
all
what
right.
we want.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And gals, talk to you next time.